I'm Mike Ross. I'm the Artistic Director of Madison Youth Choirs.
What is your favorite Wisconsin arts story?
You know, it's funny, actually one of my favorite Wisconsin art stories does not take place in Wisconsin, but it's Wisconsin connected, so we're gonna make that count. As you can see, I'm wearing stuff about Scotland, and we in Madison Youth Choirs have traveled internationally with kids over the years, and really one of my favorite stories is the kinds of things that can happen when you are together intensely and create community through making art, which is what we do with kids. You know, we go to Scotland and we're at this youth arts festival and we're making music together, and we're together 24 hours a day for 12 days. It's the kind of growth that can happen both musically, but for me, really community-wise. And to hear things like, especially a senior in high school, comment about his younger brother that I guess he's not really just a brat, but really it turns out he's a really great leader. And just to hear someone be able to have the thoughtfulness and emotional connection to make a statement like that, it just tells you the power, it shows the power of the arts.
And what do the arts mean to you?
To me, the arts are really an emotional connection. I will just share that I am connected to my religion, but in a spiritual way, not in a religious way. And for me, it's through the arts. Music just is one of those amazing spiritual, personal, emotional connections. I happen to work with kids, and you know, in terms of teaching, it's maybe not the same connection. I have a different aspect of the arts that I love, but for me personally, it's just that emotional connection.
Why do the arts matter?
So the arts matter because they help people, especially kids, to think in a way that's different from engaging with any other subject material.
What does access and inclusion mean to you?
You know, for me, access and inclusion is the moment when whatever you're doing really works for everyone, and you, in a way that doesn't require you to make a million accommodations. That you've set something up from the beginning so that everyone involved, whatever their needs or challenges may be, can participate in the same way. And there's no moment where I had to make this change or do this exception. We just set up everyone for success.
What can you tell us about the intersection of art and disability?
So for me, the intersection between arts and disability is very personal. My brother has a disability, my brother has cerebral palsy, and I grew up in a family that just, you know, this is just part of living in a family, right? I have a brother with differing needs who was very engaged in the arts in different way from me. He took piano, but, you know, didn't sort of progress in the same way. But my brother has really always had a great personal connection to music and the arts. And so for me, that connection, it just was part of living. And when I grew up and became a teacher and worked with kids with different abilities, that just was the same thing. Like, this is just a natural intersection. I never really thought them as connecting, you know, sort of different abilities to the arts. I just thought of, this is just what people should do.
Why is arts education so important?
To be blunt, these days, I think arts education is a political act. I think what the arts does that helps people to think beyond themselves and put themselves in other people's shoes is something that we don't do enough of, and frankly is an important political act. It's a statement you're making to the universe that those things matter.
What is a meaningful art experience you have had?
You know, one of the most meaningful art experiences I've had is quite recent. You know, in March, everything changed, and although what I mostly do is teach, I also am a musician, and so I couldn't really exercise those teaching skills directly with kids, and I couldn't play music. And then about a month ago, as part of my temple, I got together with our cantor, and we distanced, but we rehearsed together and actually made music together. And that first moment when, like, my fingers hit the keys and he started to sing, and we did that at the same time, it really was emotional. It really was just an incredible moment of, this is what it's like to make music together again. And I was reminded of what has been lost during this time.
When you think about Arts for All Wisconsin, what do you think about?
I think of so many great things. I think of your incredible logo, which seems like a small little detail, but says so much about your organization. I think the incredible experience I had maybe just a year ago when our kids made music with your incredible Arts for All choir. I think of the meaningful experiences that you offer for adults and kids of all abilities to make art and experience things. And I'm just thankful for your organization and the impact that it has.
What is your hope for the future of arts in America?
I hope two things for the future of art in America. I hope very soon we'll be able to be together and make it in person. And I hope that this experience that we've had does two things. I hope that it helps us to prioritize the way we spend our time. And I hope, I guess maybe I'm still an optimist, that I hope it will help us to remember that this art that we missed and that it turns out we remembered that we value requires funding and requires financial support. There are lots of ways to support the arts, and I would encourage people to really think about it that way. You can support them financially, you can support them through your participation, you can support them through political advocacy, and you can support them by just being a person that cares about what the arts have to offer that nothing else can do in the same way.